You may have a pop-up that says that you have to accept the recording. I'll only be sharing this with people that want to watch the Deep Covered Baker workshop. It won't be like a public thing. So, all right. So thank you so much. Oh, and the chat is hidden. So it's not something that you can see on the recording. All right. So we are going to go ahead and get started with our little workshop here. And tonight, I just want to go over like prepping things. So like you can have ready to go meals to cook in either one of these vessels. I'm going to talk a little bit about the wow factor of each one. And of course, the versatility of the Rockcrok. Our ticket game tonight is going to consist of 3 questions. So you're going to use the chat for this. And then at the very end, let's say you can't find the chat or whatever, you can jot down your questions. And we're going to try and save about 5 to 10 minutes to answer your questions at the very end. And then we'll give our door prizes away. So you get 1 ticket. And again, my ticket masters are back here. They are wanting to remain unseen. I have one adorable ticket master that's going to come and help me out in a little bit. I won't tell you who, but you get 1 ticket for every product question you ask. So if you want to warm up and get some product questions going, maybe you could ask, oh, how much does a Rockcrok cost? Or you could ask like, hey, Katie, how much is the Deep Covered Baker these days? Or maybe you have a product question like, can I use such and such in the freezer? Can I dishwash this? And you can ask any question about a product. So go ahead and ask whatever product questions that you'd like. You can do that now. You can do that as we go. You're going to get 1 ticket for that. And I've got our ticket master monitoring the chat. So that's where you're going to put your questions. And if your name is not on your Zoom, if it doesn't say your name, when you ask your question, make sure you put your name in on there as well. So you're going to get 2 tickets for every question you ask me about collecting orders as a host. So you could ask things like, what kinds of parties are you offering these days, Katie? Or you might ask like, what do you get when you host a party? Or how many orders do you need when you host a party? So there's a few that you can get started with. Feel free to ask those questions and get yourself 2 tickets for every question about hosting. You also get 3 tickets when you ask a question about my job. You can be as nosy as you'd like. You can ask things like, hey, how did you get started with Pampered Chef? Or how much does it cost to be a consultant? How much money could I really make before Christmas? Things like this. Okay, so ask as many of those questions as you want. 1 ticket product, 2 tickets for hosting, 3 tickets when you ask a question about being a consultant. And we are going to play that game throughout the whole thing. And so I'll answer a couple of questions after our door prize, and then we will answer between our little zeros. Is this our on-time door prize? All right. You want to do it? All right. So our on-time, everyone that was here by like 7:01 is in this drawing. So go ahead and pick a name. Don't look. You got to close your eyes. Are you guys asking questions? Have I got any questions yet?
Yes.
Give me a question. All right. Debbie Foster's our on-time door prize. And we're going to leave all these in so you guys will have a chance to win at the end as well. All right. So Debbie, you're going to get to pick from either our cinnamon, or you can have the beer bread or the caramel latte bread. So Debbie Foster, if you'll tell me which one of those little door prizes would you like? Okay. All right. So give me a couple of questions here.
Is the baker like a slow cooker?
Is the baker like a slow cooker? Okay, so that's a good one. It's not exactly like a slow cooker. It actually speeds up the time that it takes to cook, especially if you use it in the microwave. So let's go over our vessels really quick. So this is our deep covered baker. Yours may be a little bit different. It's going to have the same cooking properties. Everything that I talk about tonight is going to apply, but yours might be red. It might be taupe. It might be white. I think that's all the colors I've seen. But it has the glaze on the outside that makes it a little stronger than your traditional stone. And then in the inside, it's unglazed, and the darker it gets, the better it cooks. Or I'm sorry, the darker it looks, the better it cooks. There's our saying. And you can use this guy in the microwave. So microwave oven for the deep covered baker. And our Rockcrok, this one came about a little bit later, and the Rockcrok is made out of a natural clay. So there's no metal in either of these pots. They are both microwave safe, which makes it really nice to be.
Can you use the Rockcrok on the stove?
Can you use the Rockcrok on the stove? Thanks for that question. You absolutely can. And I get the question a lot. Can you use it on a smooth top? And that answer is yes. So it's got a nice soft glaze on it. It's not super rough. So you can use it on any kind of cooktop unless you have induction. If you have an induction stove, which just means you need a magnet inside, this Rockcrok's not going to work because it doesn't have metal. But our cast iron and our stainless steel nonstick wood. So we've got microwave, we've got stovetop, in the oven. You can also do it under the broiler, which with our deep covered baker, it will not be okay for the broiler. So if
deep covered baker, can the new one go in the dishwasher?
Can the new deep covered baker go in the dishwasher? No, it cannot. So our newest stoneware that just came out in 2020, if your cookware, if your stones have, let me show you. If your stones have this little squiggly design, you're going to be able to use soap on it, and it can go in the dishwasher. So they've fused together the stones and with a stronger material and put it in a super hot, what do they call it? Kiln or current? Isn't it called the kiln? Yeah. And it made it just a little bit stronger, but our deep cover baker has not transitioned, but it does have that nice, pretty glaze on it. So the ones that have squiggles, dishwasher safe. Otherwise it does not. So you'll see on the bottom of these, it's smooth. So that one means that it's hand wash only. So you use warm water or your scraper for that.
How long have you been a consultant?
Oh, there's one. How long have I been a consultant? Okay, well, let's get started. I'm going to actually cook a couple of meals. The one we're going to start with is our deep covered baker. And the deep covered baker is where I started with Pampered Chef. So that's a really great question to start with. Make sure I haven't forgotten anything, guys. I was, so nervous getting ready. I wanted to make sure I got as much in as I could that I probably just need to just go, you know what I mean? Emma, can you get me the big plate of chicken? So when I went to my first Pampered Chef party, I was a brand new mom. So I had Anakin, who you might see later. Typically, it comes around when we make something sweet. But I was a brand new mom. I wasn't a cook. In fact, I remember a conversation that my husband and I had, and it was something along the lines, we were watching TV we were watching TV and eating our like Taco Bell or cereal or something right in front of the TV on our coffee table. And that, I remember a conversation about like, at some point we're going to have to like sit at our dining room table and eat dinner and like cook food, because this kid isn't always going to just have milk and baby food. So I went to this Pampered Chef party and they made chicken fajitas in the microwave, and I was so floored that this could happen that I decided to host my own party, because at the time, this was, I guess it was almost 11 years ago, because it was early in 2011 that I went to this party. Or it could have even been, no, it was 2011, because that's when, or 2010. When was he born? He was born the 11th of 2010. So it was 2010. Went to my first Pampered Chef party, and they made chicken fajitas in the microwave, and I thought, oh my gosh, like I could learn how to cook that way, right? So I'm just gonna make that same recipe they made at that party so that you can see this as well. So I'm just gonna take a big fat piece of chicken, and I want to cut it in half just so that, well, it cooks evenly. So I'm taking my closing cut here. I'm gonna close it down, and then take this chicken and layer it in the bottom of my deep covered baker. So hold on here. So what?
Is the enamel in all the pots free of lead?
Enameled? Oh, in the cast iron? That's a good question. I'll have to Google that one. Thank you for that question. So I'm going to look up if the enamel is free of lead. I can't imagine that it would have lead, but that's a good one. Okay. So I've got my 2 pieces of chicken there in the bottom. I didn't do anything with the baker itself. Super simple stuff, right? Now, while I've got the yuck chicken out, I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more, because I'm going to make a freezer meal workshop or freezer meal recipe for you here in just a second. Emma, could you get this, like just get another one of these freezer bags out of the cabinet? And one of the reasons that I love Pampered Chef is just because their recipes are so simple and easy to use. I'm gonna open it up for me. Hold it open. We're gonna put these in here, up here. All right. Can you tell I don't like to touch chicken? Here's another thing. Are you grossed out? Well, another thing that is true of me is when I first started, like I was not willing to touch chicken and I wasn't willing to like do anything with it. So I'm going to take this, you're going to put that back in the fridge, and then we're going to put this all in the sink. Okay.
The Rockcrok over a campfire.
Can you use the Rockcrok over a campfire? Yes, you can. You can use it. And actually, I don't know if Marge is on tonight, but Marge told me she does like Boy Scouts and stuff. She did like a dump cake. Did Marge ask the question? Wouldn't that be funny?
No.
All right. So moving on with our deep covered baker fajitas here. I'm just going to use the kitchen spritzer and give a little spray. All right, so the kitchen spritzer is going to reduce chemicals in your kitchen because you don't have to have that propellant. You don't have to keep buying it over and over either. But just a quick spritz of oil so that that chicken can get nice and seasoned. So that's the Southwest seasoning we're using. And then real quick, we're just going to pop in some bell pepper. Oops, there we go. This is called Rush Hour Fajitas. So here I am, new mom at my first Pampered Chef party ever. And I was so excited about it, right? Like I'm like on the edge of my seat. Again, not a cook, had never really heard of Pampered Chef. I did find out later that my mom had Pampered Chef products. Like I'd actually been around them. My mom had the Wonder Cup. She had some of the measuring stuff and everything, but I didn't know what Pampered Chef was. So I'm at this party. The gal is going on and on about this lava cake and she's making these fajitas. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could cook that meal in like 15 minutes, I think I would do it. I think I could do this, right? So I'm curious about it. I wanted the baker. I'm thinking, okay, I know we're on a budget. We're going through this Dave Ramsey program about dumping debt and all that. And I thought, I wonder if I could just buy that deep covered baker, if I could get that, because then it would save us money because we're not going to go out to eat as much. And then I get the catalog and it was like, I don't know, $90 or something. And I knew right then that this was not in the budget. I was not going to be able to buy what I wanted from this Pampered Chef party. So I went home and I talked to my husband about it. And I remember him being like, well, whatever you want. Like he's sitting right here, like looking at me. I feel really self-conscious, but he's like, well, whatever you want to do. I was like, well, the lady said that if I host a party and do like fajitas at my house, that I could get this deep covered baker for 60% off. And so he's like, well, I don't care, whatever you want to do. So I book a party with my consultant, Brandy, and she's like, okay, yeah. And I was like, I want to do the exact same thing. I want that deep cover baker. We're going to put it in the, I'm going to use it. I'm going to make fajitas once a week. Oh my gosh, my eyes are burning. And so I was going to host my first party ever. And I knew nothing about parties. I had just been to this one party and that's it. So I tell my mom, I tell my mother-in-law, I'm like inviting everyone, like, you got to come see this deep cover baker is so amazing. I can't believe it. So I get, I don't know, 10 people to my house. She makes these fajitas. I'm air garlicking today. If you guys have the garlic press, you'll know, but I do have the garlic seasoning. All right. A little bit of garlic seasoning. Now, this is the magic of it. So you can put the deep cover baker in the oven. We could cook this in the oven in about probably 35 minutes or so. or it's about 10 minutes in the microwave. You can fill it up. I've done this at parties 1,000 times. And to answer your question, it's been a little over 10 years, almost 11 years now, since my Pampered Chef party that I had at my house. And I signed up as a consultant because when you host a party, someone should ask this question, like, what do you get when you host a party? But when you host a party, you can start a Pampered Chef business for less. And the gal was like, well, you have people that want to do parties. So do you want to host, or do you want to be the consultant at the party? And so I was like, well, can I just make the chicken fajitas at the party? And she's like, absolutely. You tell everyone you're having a chicken fajita party. So that's what we did. And that's actually how we started paying off our debt as well. All right, so we're gonna give that 10 minutes. So the baker can get super, super hot and then become this little mini oven in your microwave. So it's not putting the same as putting it on a plate and then cooking it in the microwave. It's not the same at all. So what happens is that, that when you put it on a plate, the microwave heats the water that's in your food. It doesn't actually bake the food. But if you heat up the stone will actually bake your food as if it was in the oven. So in a super short amount of time, you get nice, juicy chicken. It's not rubbery. So I have some questions. Yeah.
How much is the Rockcrok?
How much is the Rockcrok? Okay. So Rockcrok has lots of options. The Rockcrok Dutch oven, which is our large pot, it's very comparable to the deep cover baker in size. It's a little bit, actually, no, I think.
Deep cover baker is a little deeper, I think.
Yeah, the deep cover baker is a little bit. This is 4 quarts. It's a typical slow cooker size. You can use it as a casserole dish, whatever. This is the Dutch oven size, and that one is $140. And on sale right now is the Dutch oven with the slow cooker set. So the slow cooker base, like let's say you just have the Dutch oven at home, you could get the slow cooker base for like $65 on its own, or you can get it all for $175 through the end of the year. That's on sale. There is also a smaller size that's half the size. So it's actually 2.5 quarts. And that one is called the Everyday Plan. It's $125. And the other 2 options we have that we're not really talking a lot about tonight are the flat stones. So some people just really hated the idea of the stones looking like they're stained. And so I guess, and that's one of the reasons Pampered Chef did the Rockcrok Grillstones. So you can use them on the grill. You can actually use this small one, fits on the oven. So you could do like a grilled cheese or whatnot on it. They're a little bit stronger. They're dishwasher safe. And this one I think is like 85 and 45. My favorite thing right now to make on these is I'll use my rapid prep mandolin, boom, boom, boom. You've probably seen, if you haven't seen this thing do French fries, it can make, we did what, 5 or 6 French fries last night?
No way.
5 or 6 potatoes last night in 30 seconds.
Like 4,000 French fries.
Like 4,000 French fries. And so what you'll do is you like toss them in a little oil, and then this French onion dip seasoning that Pampered Chef has, season that all up. And we'll either roast them on the Rockcrok stone, or you could even put them in a pan and just saute them, kind of like fried potatoes. So yummy, so yummy.
When you season your stoneware, how do you do that?
Season the stoneware. Oh, that's a great question too. So it just will happen over time. You don't have to do anything special with it. It's not like a cast iron where you are going to need to like put oil on it or do anything special. The more you use that stone, the darker it's going to get. And so suggestions are make something that has a lot of fat in it the first few times, and that will season it a little quicker. So if you have a flat stone, that could be cinnamon rolls. In the deep cover baker, maybe make the lava cake a couple of times, or this, a cake super fatty, like with oils and stuff, and that will help. Now the pores on a stone are small enough though that they can't absorb anything like, there won't be any smells or oils stuck inside. And so you aren't going to like have a stone that smells like fish if you cook fish on it. It's a really well-made tool. You got another question for me?
How do you keep up with all the messaging and emails from people as a consultant?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't, do I? I don't do a good job at that. You know what? I went through this Bible study a few years ago, and I have it written on my mirror. It's like, let the work of today be sufficient, right? So this job that I love, I enjoy connecting with people. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's never done. It's never like I don't like tie it up with a bow every night. It's just always there. But I just set my work when I'm going to work ahead of time, and then I make sure that we protect the family time. We have like game night, movie night, and we'll watch our little TV shows together, whatever we're going to do. And sometimes people have to wait. And I just do my best to, I don't use notifications. So that's one little tip that I have as someone who's, it's basically like, you never know when someone's going to be on Facebook or want to chat with you or whatever. And so as long as I have my notifications off, I can check those and answer people and give them, my heart and my connection whenever I go and sit down to do that. So I don't know that I keep up with it, but I do my best. And it's funny that you asked that today, because I did like this big mass import of like everyone that I've met in the last 10 years. I shouldn't have done it all at once, because there's still like so many messages. I'm way behind. So
if you had to pick Rockcrok or deep cover baker to start with, which one would you go with?
Okay, so if the question was if I'm going to choose Rockcrok versus deep cover baker, so everything that you can do in the deep cover baker can be done in the Rockcrok. All right, so the Rockcrok covers that, and but everything that you can do with the Rockcrok can't necessarily be done with the deep cover baker, because deep cover baker is the microwave and the oven. So if I had to pick one, I would say you're covered with the deep cover or the Rockcrok. But the deep cover baker is so pretty. And so if you don't see yourself using the Rockcrok as cookware, or you don't want it for the grill function or the campfire, that kind of thing, or the thrown in the dishwasher, if that doesn't really appeal, or slow cooker, like all those extra things that it does, if you're wanting it as a casserole dish, you're wanting it as something that you can cook in the microwave, that would be a good starter piece. That's what I started with. I had that for 3 or 4 years before they made the Rockcrok. So I hope that helps.
What's your favorite pro of the deep cover baker?
The pro of the deep cover baker, it's pretty. I keep all my deep cover bakers up on my cabinets as decoration. But of course the function is awesome too. I love making my apple crisp in it. That's my very favorite meal. All right, so Emily, you're going to take this over to the sink and pour it in our, actually it's down. I'm going to pour it in here and then bring me both of those together. So you're just going to drain the corn. Yep, you got it. Drain the corn and then bring that to me. So quick freezer meal workshop lesson. All right, because I'm going to send you a whole bunch of these. If you are just joining us, you want to send me your first, last name in the chat and put your email in there. And I'm going to send our family's favorite freezer meal workshops that you can cook all those meals in either the Rockcrok or the deep cover baker. So here's my favorite one. This is our family favorite. It's chicken, and you saw me cut it with the close-in cut there. And then you're going to use smoky barbecue rub. It's a capful. Depends on how much chicken you have in here, I guess. I know that my family uses this much chicken. It's like 2 huge chicken breasts cut in half, so 4 pieces. Did you get it? Oh, look at you. All right, so I have some smoky barbecue rub. And then Emmeline has drained 1 can of beans and rinsed them. And then she just drained the can of corn in the Easy Read measuring colander. We're going to pour that in. That is a fun little tool too. And we're going to put a little bit more smoky barbecue rub. And in here, again, we're air putting garlic, but I also have Pampers Chef's garlic seasoning, so we're going to put a little bit of that in there to make up for it. And I love adding, and this is over time, you kind of like know what your flavors are. Thank you for the garlic demonstration. I like to add a little chipotle to this as well. And if you don't like the idea of chicken tacos that are barbecue, which it's so good, guys, it's so good. If you don't like that idea, then you could just do chipotle and have, regular tacos here. All right, so that's it. This is my favorite one to bring to like a new mom that just had a baby, and it can be a slow cooker meal. You could do it in the Rockcrok in about 10 minutes, and the same as the deep cover baker. Or if you're not a microwave fan, then you could always make it in the oven as well. All right, so what I do with the freezer meals with the seasoning, I just kind of massage the seasonings all in. And that also gives you another hint. If you have ever made freezer meals, so once in a while you get a bad bag. So when you're massaging, you'll know if you have like a leak in the bag before you go and freeze it. And then I'm gonna let all the air out. I like to scrunch it up so that it will fit frozen in my Rockcrok. All right. And then you're gonna tie it off. You'll write on there, barbecue chicken tacos. What you need for this is, whatever you'd have for taco fixins, but the meat of the meal is done. So if you have a freezer meal at home, or you try some of these freezer meals that I'm going to send to you, you're going to put them in the freezer. Maybe you work full time. You could put them in the crock pot from frozen before you leave on low. Or what I used to do is I would take them from the freezer, throw it in the fridge. And then when I got home at night, I'd put it then in the deep covered baker, or I'd put it in the Rockcrok and shred it up with my salad choppers, and we'd be done. But it was just ready to go. Open it up, put it in there. So there's that. All right.
What is your favorite perk of being a consultant?
Favorite perk of being a consultant. Okay, I'm going to say the flexibility. So some of you guys know the last several years, we've had some, like transition in our family. My husband got sick, and then we were at a place where like the business was growing. I was like, okay, he can stay home and focus on his health. And if it wasn't for Pampers Chef, we wouldn't have been able to do that. So just the flexibility of being able to work from Hawaii or the hospital, or from, outside on my deck on a beautiful day, right? That flexibility is my favorite piece of the business. Being able to work, this week I worked from like 6 to 10 a.m. one day, and then I took 3 hours and hung out with one of my girlfriends. And then, I could also take, work in the evening if I wanted to. So I really like that, and that I don't have to tell anyone before I do that, right? I just do it. All right, let's take a look at these fajitas, and then we have one last thing to show you, and we'll keep answering your questions as well. But before I reveal here, I'm going to get Emmeline started on our cake. So I really want to show you the versatility of the Rockcrok tonight. And I'll talk about some of my favorite ways, but we're just going to use our new little mixing bowl. Emmeline, you're going to do, I've set you all up over here. You're going to crack an egg into the prep bowl. You're going to put that devil's food cake and then one whole container of the sour cream, and mix that all in with your mix and scraper. So Emmeline's going to be working behind me, getting our cake together. And if you have any trouble, you'll let me know, and we can do it together. All right. So the big reveal here, and this is the wow factor of the deep covered baker. If you're not using it, there are so many easy recipes you can do, like our barbecue chicken tacos. There's chicken Philly sandwiches. There's a loaded baked potato chowder. So many microwave meals that you can use if you're needing just like dinner in a rush, right? So here's I haven't had this in so long. It smells so good. And what's kind of funny is I'm like having this nostalgia from all of those cooking parties I did 10 years ago. All right. So in the deep covered baker here, can you even see this? I don't think you can see the juice. I'm going to have to like tilt down. All right. Can you see this juice all in here? So everything stayed in the pot 10 minutes, and let's just go ahead and check it. So our easy, what is this? Isn't easy read. This is instant read thermometer. All right. We're just going to pop that into one of those chicken breasts down below. And we're at 169. Ooh, 179. Okay. So we're good on that. And let me just show you, well, we'll just do it right inside the pot. I'm going to grab the salad choppers and just chop everything up all together. So this was a thing that really got me. I'm like, oh my gosh. So we've got cooked chicken, we've got vegetables, we've got everything in one. And it's the same way with all these other recipes as well. I'm just thinking of this. If you do a freezer meal and it calls for ground beef or ground turkey, the seasoning in, don't do that. So whenever you have a freezer meal with ground turkey and it's not pre-cooked, you want to leave it in a ball and don't touch it and have everything else seasoned together. That's going to help the integrity of that, like the texture. Okay, so we've got fajitas ready to go. Isn't that fun? It's easy, 10 minutes, maybe 12 minutes total time, right? Now, who's going to come over and eat some fajitas with me? Got more questions for me?
Yep. Is there anything you're not supposed to cook in those?
Oh, that's an interesting one. What's wrong? Oh, well, you can put anything in first. Just put it all in and then start mixing it together. I don't think there's anything you can't cook. Like heck, you could even fry in the Rockcrok. You could put it with oil and fry. I've heard people do that, although that makes me nervous. Okay, what else we got?
What's your favorite Pampers Jet product?
My favorite, probably the air fryer is one of our most used products. I love that because it's easy. The kids can do it. The non-stick stainless wok might be my favorite though. That's this one. So that has that like etched in non-stick, but it's all stainless. So not only is it pretty, but it's easy to clean and you get the brown sear on your food as well. So that might be my favorite. Although I will say for so many years, it was the deep cover baker and then it was the Rockcrok. So, okay, what else you got?
What else can you cook in a deep cover baker minus chicken?
Okay, so pork tenderloin. You can do your ground meat. I have a really yummy Philly cheesesteak recipe. It's like, again, it's a 10-minute microwave meal or 30-40 minutes in the oven. You can cook everything in it. I love apple crisp in there. I love cakes in there. We do a lot of those like sweet desserts. You can do your normal casseroles in either one of these pots. So if you can get over not having a rectangle casserole, they bake up so well in either one of the bakers here.
Can the deep cover baker defrost chicken in the microwave?
Yes, put that all in. So I'm going to tell you that it can, but I'm going to give you a caveat that if you are going to cook a lot of from frozen, I would recommend doing the Rockcrok because you're always going to have the potential for a thermal shock with the regular stones, like the deep cover baker. So if it's warm and you put a frozen thing in it, it has the potential to break. Now, if it's room temperature, you put the frozen things in there and then you go to defrost. I've done that 1,000 times. I feel confident saying it, but I don't think that it would be recommended. So that's my answer.
Do both Rockcrok sizes fit in the crock pot?
Yes, both Rockcrok sizes fit in the crock pot. So this is the Dutch oven size and it's exactly the same diameter as the everyday pan. It's just going to be a little bit shorter here. So great question there as well. Got one more?
Let's see here. Can you wash the deep cover bakers, the older ones?
You can wash them, yes. So all of your deep cover bakers, the way that you're going to wash them, you can soak them in warm water. Usually soaking them in warm water for 5 minutes loosens it up enough that you can take that scraper that it came with, a little brown scraper, or if you have a newer version, the blue scraper, scrape it all clean. You can wash it with your sponges, any kind of pad. You just don't want to use a chemical soap on it. And not the dishwasher for the deep cover baker. Dishwasher is fine for the Rockcrok. Let's check in with Emmeline on our cake here. So we're gonna make a s'mores cake in here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the broiler. Where is that? Broil. Okay. And that's gonna be heating up the oven. This pot here, I mean, I just love that you can go from one surface to the other. My favorite meal to make in it is on the stovetop to toast, saute garlic and onions, toast some risotto rice dry, and then add vegetable broth and throw that in the microwave after that. It's a no stir risotto. And then you can add in all of your favorite fixins, cheese, tomatoes, that sort of thing, basil, spinach. That recipe is amazing. It will make everyone think that it's better than restaurant. In fact, I've never had restaurant risotto that's as good as that one that we make in the stovetop and in the microwave. The other thing you can do with this is, like, for those freezer meal workshops freezer meals that I'll make, put them in there, cook them in the microwave, then throw it under the broiler and brown the top of it, or thicken up the sauce seasoning or the sauce in it. And you've only used one pot. So that's really nice as well. All right, Emma, let's see how you're doing with our, oh, that looks so good. You want to come over here?
Yeah.
So this s'mores cake that we're making tonight, this is the gift to my family for letting us use the kitchen in the evening. We've got 1 thing of sour cream, 1 egg, and then it's 1 2/3 cup of cake, devil's food cake mix.
It's still white.
It's okay. It's a little thicker than normal cake.
Mhm.
So we have these silicone prep bowls. They're like little measuring bowls that are silicone. I have a gray version. They actually come and they're like a light blue white version. That's what we sell them as right now. All right. So we're just gonna take this and spread it across the bottom. I have to use my finger. We can't waste that. Right? It's super thick cake. You're gonna love it. I've never made this for my family, but I used to make it for like Death by Chocolate parties. All right. So this is gonna go in the microwave for 4 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, it says. I think my gut tells me 4, so that's what we're gonna do. All right. And then before you got here, I took that little silicone prep bowl here, and I've got some melted Hershey's chocolate bar. That's all that is. And
graham cracker.
yes. So I'm going to use the manual food processor here and give that a few pumps. That's a good sound, right? So we have our graham cracker crust and our chocolate there for the top. And I forgot that we have guests with us tonight. So if you are here and I am not your consultant, I offered to our team to invite their customers to come and check out our deep cover baker workshop. So if you are here with your consultant, will you tell us, say like, hi, I'm here with, and I think I saw Dusty and Lisa and Kim. So if you're here with your consultant, will you tell us hello? And if you are joining us late, we're doing a ticket game. You can ask a question about a product for 1 ticket, hosting a party for 2, and about being a consultant for 3 tickets. And we have some door prizes here in a few minutes. Okay, give me a few more questions.
Yeah. Favorite thing to cook in Rockcrok?
Favorite thing to cook? Well, I just did that with our risotto. That'll be my answer.
Okay, so the risotto, they want the recipe for too.
Yes, happy to do that. If you have not yet, give me your first and last name and your email. I'm going to follow up with all the recipes I mentioned today and a whole load of freezer meals that you can use in either one of these pots.
Can shears go in the dishwasher?
Shears go in the dishwasher, yes.
What are the benefits of hosting?
Hosting, so many benefits. First of all, fun with friends. And if you enjoy this style, you could maybe do a Zoom party. You could have people over at your house. I personally do, if you're in the St. Louis area, I can come over and do a recipe for you. And also we have 2 online type parties that I'm running right now. There's Facebook. We have a cool table. That's just an online platform that Pampered Chef does. You don't have to have social media for that. Just kind of pass the catalog around. That's an option too. And when you host, on average, so you just give it a whirl, you're probably, as the national average, going to get a 60% off item. This month, you choose that item. So you could choose the Rockcrok slow cooker set. You could choose the air fryer. You could get that wok. You can get whatever you want, 60% off. You choose it. And then on average, going to get 3 half price items of your choice and $75 free and an unlimited discount not only during your party, but for a year after that. So not only is it fun with friends, which is well enough, right? But you also get free stuff. What else?
2 cents. They also want the apple crisp recipe.
Oh, you guys don't have to worry about the recipes. As long as you give me your first and last name and your email. My ticket master's over there doing it for us. We're gonna get you those recipes.
With the holidays coming up, have you ever considered a baking workshop?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I've done cookie exchanges.
We've done a painting one.
Oh yeah, we did. We did that too. No, I haven't done that, but if you would like to be the first, we can totally work that out. You know what? I'm one of those bakers. I don't know about you guys. They say baking's like an exact science. I'm one of the only people I know that like, I just kind of throw stuff together and bake it. And also my tip to baking, add salt. I just feel like that makes it all better.
Yeah, it does.
Emma agrees.
And the deep cover baker be used on the stovetop.
The deep cover baker is not for the stovetop. So the deep cover baker is going to be microwave safe and oven safe only. Your Rockcrok though, everything goes.
So the Rockcrok works on gas.
It works on gas, it works on glass. Yep. It works on coils. The only thing that that one doesn't work on is induction. All right, let's reveal this pot. And also the cool thing about both of these pots is you can touch them for 10 minutes before they're too hot to the touch. Although we do have the fun little thing. So to find out if the cake is done, you press, it springs back. We're totally good. So that cake bakes in 4 minutes in the microwave. So that's step 1. Step 2 is marshmallows. Marshmallows on top. Now, funny story, and Lord help me, I don't do it again tonight. I was doing a death by chocolate party. Gosh, I want to say it was around when Emma was a baby, because I may have even had her at the party when she was a little tiny. I was trying to not go back full time, and we didn't get paid during maternity leave. And so what I did is I strapped her to my belly, and I cut the stuff up out here during parties. If you were at one of those parties, God love you for bearing with me. But anyway, I'm at this party. It's death by chocolate. We're making this s'mores cake, put it in there, and I'm talking. And sure enough, smoke alarms. We had to evacuate the ladies' kitchen. I felt so bad. So we're not going to have that happen tonight. I've got my broiler on, and we're going to pop in our cake with the marshmallows. I learned after that party that you always leave it a little bit open so you can watch it. So Emma, you're going to watch this. So you'll stand right there. And in about 2 minutes, you're going to see it get brown. And when it's brown enough and toasted on top like it was under a fire, then you're going to say, okay, let's get it out.
Okay.
All right.
How many parties do you do a month?
Okay, so I do one party a week on Facebook and a couple parties a week that are just random. So it might be an in-home, or it might be on our other table platform. Starting to toast already? All right, watch it close. All right, what else?
When you cook ground beef or turkey in the Rockcrok in the microwave, how do you crumble it?
Ooh,
You do
okay.
it like you're cooking it in a frying pan.
Yes. So if you're doing ground beef in the microwave, you're going to want to have your Rockcrok or your mix and chop handy. Give it a little bit of a mix. Check it. Oh yeah, that's looking good. All right. She's like, it's going to turn on fire. Good thing I told the story. Is that done enough for you?
Yeah, that's definitely done enough.
All right.
Marshmallows.
Let's take a poll. How do you like your marshmallows?
Marshmallows.
Because I like mine like super toasty and plump. So here's our s'mores cake recipe. At Emmeline's discretion, this is where we're stopping. Yeah. Would you want it blacker than that? So they're nice and brown. They got puffy. Looks good. Next step, we're gonna take those graham cracker crumbles. They're not cracker crumbles. Cracker
crap.
All right, I got a laugh from my husband. I'm sorry, the ticket master. All right, so we're gonna take this chocolate and spread it around.
Ooh, yum yum.
What is a table party?
A table party. So Pampered Chef came up with this platform. It's like a dumbed down version of Facebook to your visual. You can share posts on it, videos, recipes, that sort of thing. And there is a beautiful way. So it's just a link, and when your guests come, when you invite your guests to it, they click on the link and then it opens up, and the only thing that they're going to see is the Pampered Chef party. It'll say like Donna's Pampered Chef party, and they'll scroll down and they can read about things, they can get recipes, they can see videos, but they don't have to have social media, and you don't have to have it interjected into your normal. So some people really don't like to have their notifications on, they don't like to have their notifications with mixed in for their party. And so this is just a separate site for that.
Some cake. It smells good.
My son smelled the cake. All right. So we are going to have them taste tested then. Yeah, go ahead.
Does Pampered Chef sell a colander, mesh colander for minting tiny seeds or grain like quinoa?
Yes, let me show you that too. Let me just show how beautiful this is. I kind of want a picture. Look how pretty it is.
You should take a picture. Take a
So
picture.
well, my stuff is in use, so we're just gonna have to remember.
No, Dad has his phone.
It's-
He can take a picture.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Dad can take a picture.
All right. So we're gonna get these kids.
That's really good.
And we're gonna get you guys some s'mores cake so you can tell everyone while we wrap up tonight how it tastes. Okay, so there's one for you. All right. I wish I could share it with all of you guys, although my kids are probably like, yes, dessert forever. All right, Emma, there's yours. And we can have more in a few minutes, but let's wrap up our party tonight. Let me make sure I've covered everything.
That's good. I haven't even.
Okay, so we have tickets going for everyone that's asking, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna give away these
What's your favorite trip you earned?
favorite trip. My favorite time that I had was, you guys can go eat that over there. How do you feel about it?
I want to
It's
eat
really
it.
good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. Well, I'd say my favorite trip was probably either San Diego, which is so funny because it's stateside. Me and my husband had such a great time that time. I loved the Prague trip that we just went on. I'd never been to Europe, so that was a lovely trip as well. Right. Speed round on questions. Got any more?
What's the host special for November?
Host special for November is pick your own. So just with a qualifying party, which is almost always three orders, then you get a 60% off item and a 50, you get to choose it.
And then how do you invite people to a table party?
Yes. So if you're going to invite to one of these online table parties, all you'll need is what I'll have you do is message your friends, text them. You can email them if you want and say, hey, I'm having a Pampered Chef party next week. Would you like an invite? When they say yes, I just have you keep track of who they are. And then when our party starts, there's a link. Here's the party. Here's where you RSVP. I always do like a just for joining gift. So they'll click on the link, put their name in, put their email in, and then they're in the party. They don't have to come up with a password or anything like that. Super simple to do a table party.
What kind of oil do you use in your spritzer? That's the last one I can find that.
Okay, last question was, what oil do you use in the spritzer? I like to use a high heat oil. So mine has avocado oil in it. You could also use grapeseed. The reason being that I typically will spritz things that are going to be over 300 degrees. So while you can use any oil that's liquid, I love using a high heat oil in there. Your canola oil and stuff would work as well. Yeah. And you can infuse like.
Are the Rockcrok and the deep cover baker both available right now?
They are, yes. Both the Rockcrok and the deep cover baker are in stock. And if I am your consultant, what I want you to do, since we have several consultants, maybe with guests on here, I want you to reach out to your consultant if you would like to buy any of the products that you saw tonight, because they probably have a special bonus for you. So I know that my guests are going to get a special deal if they do want to order something. No one's ever obligated to order, but if you did see something, you got to have it, or you want to buy one of these sets for a family member or something, you could totally do that. So, oh, what's a funny?
Does Pampers Chef sell bigger kitchens so I can fit in more of their products?
Oh, do we sell bigger kitchens? No, but let me tell you one last thing about the Rockcrok. When I got my Rockcrok, I had we had like 1,000 square foot home. All right. Tiny little kitchen. We had open space, but no cabinet space. Right. So I had stuff in the garage and I had stuff in the basement and stuff in the car. Right. So it was a little overwhelming, but I will say when we got the Rockcrok, you can really take some of these products and downsize. So when we got this, I got rid of my stock pot. I got rid of a crock pot. I got rid of 2 or 3 casserole dishes. And there was, what else am I forgetting? There was like 5 or 6 different things that I donated or gave away just because I knew the Rockcrok slow cooker set would do it all. And so if you are dealing with small spaces, let's chat about like, what could you get rid of and just have one thing that could do more? So that would be my solution for you, but I don't sell kitchens. I have lots of real estate friends though. All right, so I think that's all for the questions. We've got our drawings here. So go ahead and draw our first winner. And thank you guys for being here. I'm so glad. Don't forget to tell me your email if you haven't yet with your first and last name. If you're here with a guest, I'm gonna need to know who you came with. All right, Sherry's iPhone.
That's all I had.
That's what I have. Okay, so Sherry, if you're Sherry iPhone, you get to pick a prize. All right, so you can pick from the caramel latte bread, the beer bread, the cinnamon plus, or the baster. All right.
Does the smaller Rockcrok sit inside the larger one to store it better?
It does not. They do not nest. The Rockcroks do not nest. All right, so. Oh, Christy. No, Christy, you're a consultant. You're not going to win. I love you though, Christy. All right, Michelle. Michelle, how do I say your last name? McElvain? McElvain? All right, so you're going to get one of those, a cinnamon, a beer bread, a caramel latte.
McElvain.
McElvain. All right, good. Thank you. I've always wondered. And then Emma, this is for our big winner. This is going to be for the cast iron enameled milk pot. It's a good one. Make it a good one. Pam Durall. All right. Yay, Pam. I'm so glad you made it. Are you laughing? All right. Awesome. Well, you guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. I am going to leave our Zoom on for a few minutes. You're free to go, but I'm going to leave the Zoom on in case anyone wants to come off of mute and chat for a minute or ask more questions. I would love to answer them. I wish if anyone lives close, come and eat some fajitas. And are there any more questions in the chat that I need to know about? Okay. Guys, if you enjoyed this workshop, please let me know that you'd like me to offer it again or what products you'd like me to offer it with. And I'm going to be excited to see some pictures of some stuff that you made and maybe you can try some of those